Welcome back to Eyewitness News this morning. It's 8:30. We've got Charlie O'Hara on set with us right now. If you have a question for him, call him at 436-1212. Give us a shout and we'll get your questions. Now, one subject that has been so legally confusing lately has been same-sex marriage, Charlie. And because you've got federal courts and you've got local courts, state courts ruling on the same issue. What is going on right now? Because the state is appealing one ban, or people are doing this, the ACLU has gotten involved, and now Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor.
Well, it's a real confusing situation, but what we have to remember at all times is the way the courts work are that the Supreme Court, number one, controls everything of the United States, but secondly, the federal Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, controls the state Constitution and controls the state law. So whatever the United States Constitution says controls. Our state Constitution bans same-sex marriage. So the question is, does the ban by the state Supreme Court or the state Constitution conflict with the United States Constitution? Like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think the United States Supreme Court, because all of the lower courts were ruling the same way, refused to hear same-sex marriage.
Right.
However, late last week, the Sixth Circuit, which I think is in Ohio and covers some other states around there, actually ruled that same-sex marriage could be banned by the states. So now we have this split, this conflict between the federal courts of appeals. So I think, based on the injunction that was just granted, probably the Supreme Court of the United States is going to hear the issue and then settle it one way or the other, which is what we need, because this chaos is not going to work.
One person appealing something else and instituting their control over another. So hopefully by the next week, I think we might get to see some sort of resolution there. Now, we do have one caller on the line. Go ahead with your question for Charlie.
Morning. I had a letter in the mail for jury duty, and I emailed them and told them I was medically unable because of injuries to serve on a jury duty. Well, I had to go to the doctor and get a note from my doctor that my copay was $20. How do I recover my $20 back?
Well, I don't think you're going to get to do that, unfortunately. The problem is, if you get a summons for jury duty, you're under a court order to show up when you're supposed to show up. Now, it usually has in there, if there's a reason you can't show up or you need to have it delayed, that you have to submit to the court, but that's really your burden. You have to do that. I mean, most people that are earning a living, staying off, not going to court, work for a week if you're not getting paid, and some people don't get paid, is a real burden for everybody. However, everybody has the same burden, so if you want to get out of it, it's up to you. So if you have to go to the doctor and get an excuse, you're going to have to pay for that excuse. I don't think the courts are going to pay you back.
Now, what are some reasons that people can get out of jury duty if they're thinking, oh my gosh, I really need to, this needs to happen? Are there ways that people can obviously get out of jury duty?
Well, I think the courts tend to not let you out of jury duty.
Right. Is there just a reason why you won't be able to serve on that jury?
Well, they might let you delay it. If you have a real conflict or something's going on, getting out of jury duty if you're not able to get there, as the gentleman said, or there's some other real hardship, and it's got to be a hardship other than missing work or doing something like that, sometimes you'll get out of it. But since everybody tries to get out of it, it appears, the judges are very reluctant to let you out of it.
Right. And most of the time, I think people end up going and sitting and being released on that same day.
Well, the system's progressed to the point that there aren't nearly the trials there were when I first got out of law school. We used to go to trial just all the time, and people now try to settle things because if everybody went to trial, the system would blow up.
Right, yeah. Well, thank you so much, Charlie, for your advice. Thank you guys for your call, and we'll be back right after this.